in the summer of 2011, I was given the incredible opportunity to travel throughout Thailand, Burma, and Laos, interviewing different marginalized youth, different people that had been marginalized by the government or various things. And in my journeys, I met a young man named Bao. And Bao was born in Burma, but at the age of 3, his village was bombed by the Burmese government, so he had to flee across the Thai-Burmese border into Thailand and grow up there, leave his father behind. He never saw his father again. When he was 3, he grew up in utter and complete poverty. 1 meal a day of rice, maybe. No education, no running water, no anything. When he was 12, he was given an incredible opportunity to walk 3.5 miles every single day to get a poor version of education. He was given 3 classrooms for 200 students inside of this place that he went, but nonetheless, it was still education. But when he was 17, his entire life changed. When he was 17, a group of 20 or 30 students traveled to his village and stayed with him for the 3 months of the summer. And in those 3 months, Bao was able to connect with them every single day, speak English, learn the colloquialisms, the nuances of the language, and really grasp the language in a way that he never had before, that very few people across Southeast Asia, across the entire world have. And from this, he was able to get a job at a hotel nearby, and he was able to provide for his sick mother, for himself, get financial security to really fulfill his true human potential. So I traveled back to the United States, traveled back to Los Angeles. I live in Brentwood, and I was starting to get another outlook on life. I was starting to understand that there's different ways to see the world, different perspectives, different lenses by which to understand humanity and understand everything around us. I was reading a book called The Wayfarers by my inspiration, Wade Davis, an anthropologist who's given an incredible TED Talk that you guys all should watch, in which he states that the world in which you have been born is just one model of reality. Other cultures are not failed attempts at being you. They are rather unique manifestations of the human spirit. And I was looking around and I was seeing my friends and different people in Los Angeles, and I was seeing people that were entirely focused on their one way of life, on this American way of life, on the SAT scores, the school, pop chips versus Dorito chips, what the perks are of being vegan. And I was seeing that people hadn't been as fortunate as I had to be able to see that there are other ways of being, that there are other manifestations of the human spirit. All this time in my pseudo-intellectual state where I was drinking tea and thinking that I was the smartest person on the planet, I thought back to Bao and thought back to these different people that I met while I was traveling. And I remembered how profound of an impact English education, a grasp on the English language had. And simultaneously, I was thinking about how incredible it would be to bring us experience similar to my own, to my peers around Los Angeles. And then I realized that I could create a bridge between the two cultures in the developing world and in our world, a connection. And for me, this connection has manifested itself in my project, Exchange the World. Exchange the World is an online educational platform which connects students in the developing world. We work in Thailand, Cambodia, Kenya, Laos, and Los Angeles, DC, and Santa Monica. And we connect them through these once-a-week exchanges where they spend 20, 40 minutes talking about textbooks, grammar, vocab, but quickly these exchanges become something much more. These exchanges become conversations about, say, the Aka Swing Festival, which is so integral to the community, to the life of Burmese refugees inside of Thailand. I received an email from Anna Hess, who's in the crowd, who has been exchanging with an amazing Cambodia girl named Kan Ha for a few months now, and she wrote me that I literally am learning so much from her. Just now we talked about how she just had the water festival and her traditions and the food she makes and how it's a full moon, and then she sent me all of these insanely cool pictures of her and her friends at the water festival, and she was so happy to show them to me, and I'm literally in love. This was a 4-hour exchange. We see here that these connections, these cross-cultural connections, these exchanges become something much more than education. They become something much more even than just friendship. They become passports into a life, a viewpoint, a lens other than your own, a glimpse into the other manifestations of the human spirit, as Wade Davis eloquently puts it. But I don't just see this as a project for a few countries across Southeast Asia, a country in Africa, and a few places across the United States. I see this as a possible global network of empathy, of compassion, of education, of preparation for a life, a fulfilled life in the 21st century where we are all so interconnected in this globalized world. But it's all up to the individual that says, I want to try to see the world in a way other than my own. I want to try to understand the human spirit in a way that's other than the one that I've been living in for the past 15, 20, 25 years of my life. And if we can do this, develop more cross-cultural connections, more exchanges, then I truly believe that we can make a world that is more empathetic, more compassionate, more prepared to live and fully exist to our full human potential in this 21st century where we're just growing closer and closer and closer together. I believe that if we can create more exchanges, more connections, that we can really ultimately exchange the world. Thank you.